Before we proceed to back to the official program, just to acknowledge some of the other corporates and friends who've come. If you're here, welcome Zain. Zain, where are you? Bamlalas is asking, where is Zain? He is here. He drank our tea, he's here, I saw him. And then we've got Zenzi Mataku from ZPT Financial Services. Can you just please stand or wave Zenzi? The table Igbone. All right. And then we've got members from the media who are here. We've got colleagues from LXFM. I believe they're broadcasting live, Mr. Malele, from here. LXFM at the back there. So mawufuna ukubingelela ekhaya, just go right at the back there. Nicele nje ukuyenza ama shout outs. And then we've got Mr. Joel Mafenya. Joel, Mr. Joel, where is he? No Babukiani Shivambu. And then from the MEC's office, I believe she is still on her way. We've got Mr. Lisiba Mbia, who's the spokesperson, MEC, and then Uhamba no Mr. Tau, who's the parliamentary liaison officer to the MEC. So sizo qhubeka ke ngeprogram yethu, but my program is different to yours, so we'll go according to my program. I'm going to invite Ubaba Mlalazi, our General Secretary, who will be introducing our Deputy Minister, as is going to give us a keynote address. Baba Mlalazi, you may come forward. And I'm Shailen Zanga here.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I'm gonna. Anivumi. Yeah. Thank you very much. As you can see, I don't even look like our MEC for roads and transport in Gauteng. She was supposed to be the one that would be introducing our Deputy Minister of Transport, our guest here today. Unfortunately, she got caught up. I am told she won't make it to this gathering here today. But while I'm saying that, I must defend her. Definitely, she would have tried her best under any circumstances to be here. The fact that she couldn't make it says she really could not make it. So in absentia, let's acknowledge her. She's our MEC. Thank you. We'll have to change the program. I'm sure all of us, we listen to the news, we watch television and the social media. Unfortunately, at the political party where our DM comes from, there is a bereavement in the Shenge family. And as you know, the DM, he is one of those people that are very active in the party. And they've been calling him and sending him emails and everything. Because we have a very kind president, the one and the only FM Masitsa. He called me aside and gave me orders. He said, when we go back to conference, I want to allow our DM to speak first before you speak and anybody else, so that we can release him to go and attend to the bereavement. As a consequence of that, I have been given the honor to invite our Deputy Minister of Transport, Nkuleko Hlengwa, to come and address this conference. So I do. Deputy Minister.
Thank you very much, Ms. G. And I would like to, before I speak, express my sincerest appreciation to you, Mr. President, for your kind understanding under the circumstances in which one has found themselves, in that in another capacity, I'm a trustee of the Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi Foundation, which in part is responsible for some of the Wapindangeni household matters. As I speak to you now, the remains of Princess Wiselo are making their way from Cape Town to Durban, where she resided before she proceeds home. And so in the midst of all of that, one has been just busy with that. And so I would like to apologize to conference as well. I'm sure some would have noted that I was from time to time on my phone. It was certainly not out of disrespect for this all important gathering. It's just circumstances which are a determination of God's intervention. I want to acknowledge the President, the Deputy President, and the entire national leadership of NTA, the provincial structures of NTA, Your Worship, the Mayor, who has spoken earlier on in welcoming us here, and all distinguished stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, and the National Department of Transport. I heard you, Mr. President, earlier on saying that you are spiritual people. And as I was sitting there, part of me kept on saying, Masimbonge, Masimbonge, Onomsaganga, Simutande, Simukonze, Imihlange. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Mokulu umusaga Jesu simenyiwe namhlanje ukuya kuye. Thank you. I was just reflecting on that because by God's grace we are all here. And I want to convey our condolences as the department for the losses in which we have endured in this term of office, as earlier on we had that moment of reflection. I want to convey the apology of the Minister, Minister Barbara Creasy, who is currently appearing before the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, SCOPA, and I'm quite glad that she is there, not me. I was there last week, and she's handling and dealing with matters related to other entities within the portfolio, and to indicate that between her and I, we have got a firm agreement that the issues of the taxi industry will be a shared responsibility, because we understand the importance of the industry. And so she is not here out of disrespect, but is the delineation of responsibilities for this week has compelled that she be in Cape Town. Secondly, Mr. President, I want to say I have listened very carefully to the address you've delivered here this morning, and have taken notes of some of the issues that you have raised, which I felt were within our particular purview. And to say to you, I take them in the candid spirit of a constructive discussion which we need to have on the basis that ke inkosana idla ifa nezono zikayise. But having said that, I must put the disclaimer that the issues, or rather the attitude which you have described and characterized as having defined your relationship with the ministry from the first to the sixth administration is not the attitude of the ministry in the seventh administration. And to use your words, the note is an emphatic note in capital letters. Mr. President, the distinguished leaders of the National Taxi Alliance and the esteemed members of the taxi industry, and to all the dedicated men and women who keep South Africa moving, it is indeed a privilege and an honor for me to be here today at this all-important conference. The taxi industry is not just a mode of transport. It is the heartbeat of our public transportation system. Millions of South Africans rely on taxis to travel to work, to school, and to essential services every day. Your contribution to the country's economy is immense. In fact, the taxi industry transports more than 70% of our public transport users, playing a crucial role in keeping our economy functioning, and for that, we are grateful. Therefore, at the outset, however, let me start off with a disclaimer that says, I am new to this sector and to the industry, and I will rely on mutual respect and learning and engagement as we together navigate the issues of the sector. As a government and as the ministry, we recognize the immense responsibility on your shoulders. And that is why we remain committed to working closely with you to support and uplift the industry. One of the key areas we are focusing on is road safety. While the majority of taxi drivers are hardworking and dedicated to their crafts, colleagues, we must admit that there are still too many accidents on our roads. We cannot afford to lose lives, particularly of those of passengers, where these things could have been prevented. We are calling on every member of the taxi industry and every road user to prioritize safety and ensure that vehicles are roadworthy and that all drivers operate with care and responsibility. As a ministry, we are currently working on the festive season safety plan in the short term and reviewing the National Road Safety Strategy in the long term as we seek to save lives. We are sadly losing 12,000 lives on our roads every year. This must change. We must de-risk our roads through, amongst others, driver behavior change. The work of decongesting our roads, amongst others, through the Road to Rail program will benefit the taxi industry, wherein the flow of traffic will be improved. The work that is being done by the National Logistics Crisis Committee to deal with the trucks on our roads, we believe, amongst others, is not just about the efficiency of the movement of those goods and services, but about the safety of those who will remain using the roads. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out that if you crash into a truck, the chances of the truck driver meeting his maker are far less than those who are driving in cars and taxis. And therefore, the urgency of that cannot be understated. Secondly, it goes to the heart of maintaining sustainably well into the future the road infrastructure that we currently have. Bad roads are bad for travel. Bad travel is bad for the economy. And then, of course, bad roads are a contributor to road accidents. We are currently, as a department, seized with the Provincial Roads Maintenance Grant, which on average is costing us about 16 billion rands to ensure that we improve our roads for the better. I've already been to the Eastern Cape and to the Northwest to assess as to whether we are getting value for money, and we are re-establishing the technical task team at the head office of experts with the necessary knowledge, skills, and expertise in engineering, amongst others, to make sure that the roads we are constructing are actually there's value for money, and that we are also making progress to push back on the frontiers of poor maintenance. Therefore, to this end, we must also work on ensuring enhanced driver training programs, because we believe that well-trained drivers are at the heart of safer roads. We want to ensure that all drivers have access to the necessary skills, support, and resources to drive safely and professionally. This is, amongst others, why we are placing a concerted effort on the collective integrity of the work being done in our DLTCs, working with law enforcement agencies to ensure that we push back on the frontiers of transactional corruption, where people are buying driver's licenses and selling driver's licenses. The wrong drivers behind the steering wheel are the risk for all of us on the roads. Because what we need to do, Mr. President, is take significant steps to destigmatize that it's only taxi drivers who are bad drivers. This cancer is pervasive across the ecosystem of the roads. But we are here today because we're an organized sector to request that we partner in this endeavor of ensuring that we exercise patience, that we exercise the right kind of driving on our roads. It's amongst others why we've taken the initiative as a department to revive the National Interdepartmental Committee on Scholar Transport to make sure that we put in place the necessary checks and balances and norms and standards around scholar transport, so that we can destigmatize the fact that when an accident happens, the knee-jerk reaction is to blame the drivers. What I can tell you now, Mr. President, is that the accident which we had here in Gauteng in Fortville was driver error, not of the scholar transport driver, but somebody who was using his cell phone. When he looked up after dropping it, he drove into that car. The accident we had in Mpumalanga and Middleburg at the level crossing of the railway line, again, was a driver who simply did not want to wait. And so the impatience on our roads is a major contributor to the loss of lives that we are experiencing. I say this in the broader context that if we reduce road accidents, we will go a long way in saving money for, amongst others, the Road Accident Fund, which is in itself riddled with problems. And so as we try and turn things around there, it is incumbent that the road safety strategy becomes an integral part of our work. Mr. President, having met with you and your executive, I want to say and reassure you that we have not forgotten about the critical need to modernize and improve the industry. As the ministry, we are working on the tax recapitalization program, which is aimed at improving the quality and safety of your vehicles. And we understand that many of you rely on this program to renew your fleets and ensure that your taxis are safe and efficient for the millions who rely on them. It is our view in the ministry that we need to review the tax recapitalization program. We have listened to you, and we are aware that the current dispensation is too expensive and unaffordable for many drivers and owners. Accordingly, we need to properly integrate all modes of public transport for passengers to move safely and timeously from one destination to another. On this score, we will be appearing as a department and ministry before Parliament in November to discuss this matter further, and I can assure you, Mr. President, that this government, I must be specific, this one, is committed to this process. Our meeting, Mr. President, was not in vain. It was a necessary learning experience for us so that we can be able to get ahead of the curve to understand your issues. So I would request you that the characterizations that you made end at number 6. In addition to this, we are also reviewing the subsidy policy. We are aware of the long-standing calls from the taxi industry to be included in the subsidy system that currently benefits other modes of transport. We are committed to ensuring that the taxi industry is treated fairly. The review is underway, and we will engage with you and all stakeholders to develop a policy that supports the lived realities of our people. As a country, we remain saddened, colleagues, by the scourge of gender-based violence. And I therefore today make a clarion call to the industry to partner with our government efforts to push back on the frontiers of this national crisis. On that score, however, I must also commend the visible role and participation of women in the taxi industry. In many respects, though, women come into the industry through the sad and difficult circumstances of death as widows. We therefore must create a conducive and enabling environment for this transition to ensure sustainability in the family businesses. Above and beyond, it is our collective duty to partner with the law enforcement agencies to deal with the prevailing realities of taxi violence. Where there are disagreements, it is my view that they can be resolved around the table through negotiations and not through the barrel of the gun. Mr. President, as I draw to a close, and I'm glad that the financiers are here, because I want to say just this in their presence. We must reform and diversify the financial value chain and ecosystem of the taxi industry to ensure the independence of the industry. Because the rates which you are charging, nyakanga. Mhlawumbe ake ngigudluke esingesini. Ngoba mengameli ukufa nokuphila kwemboni ngaphambi kokuba kube sezandleni zabanye abantu kusezandleni zemboni. Ubunye bemboni kuzokwenza ukuthi kube lukhuni kube khona ozongena phakathi kwenu. Ngoba ngesingame amandla omnotho ezisezandleni zemboni, imboni iyodwa ingenza olukhulu ushintsho eyinhlelweni zesimo impilo zabantu baseNingizimu Afrika. Ngoba njengabantu abambisholo, ngisegoli la, njengabantu abamnyama, sinesibopho esikhulu sokuthi sivikele lokho kuyifagugu lokusebenza ngokuyikhandla iminyaka engaka siphilisa imboni ngaphansi kwengcindezi yomnotho ongenako ukukhathalela umntompisholo. Ngakho-ke mengameli ngifisa ukudlulisa ukuthokoza kwethu njengomnyango ukuthi nisenzele kube lula ukuthi masifika sinifice nina njenge-NTA neSantaco senisondelene ngendlela ukuthi esikhuluma nani kukhulumeke neSantaco, esikhuluma neSantaco kukhulumeke ne-NTA. Ngakho-ke nginishiya nenselelo ethi awekho amandla kuyanhlukwana, ngoba yanhlukwana ivula isikhala sesitha. Mangithi ngiyabuka-ke ngaphandle nje kokukwitiza, kodwa kuwukuthi uma sikhuluma ngokucindezelwa komntompisholo kuyacaca ukuthi ukumcindezela ingoba khona into ebonakala, khona amandla khona. ngesingami ke imboni iwumzekelo ukuthi yithi nje izahluleki kodwa singawukhanda umnotho omusha kwiningizimu Afrika entsha siubeke ezandleni ezifanele. In conclusion, let me express my deepest appreciation on behalf of the ministry for the work you do every day to keep South Africa moving. We stand with you in ensuring that the taxi industry not only thrives, but operates in a safe, reliable, and sustainable manner. I want to wish you well in your conference. I know it's also elective, so at least I'm done with elections. Knowing the strain of an election, good luck. However, my only word of advice is that whatever the outcome, may the differences you may have had at election time be left at the election. And when you step out through that door, you live as one NTA, rallying behind a leadership that will enable us to continue the discussions we have begun. If NTA lives here divided and unaccepting of the outcome, we would have set back the work you have begun. So we want to wish you well as you deliberate over the next few days, and we look forward to continuing our work together to build a better, safer transport system for the South African economy and her people. I thank you.
Okay. No, thank you so much, Deputy Minister. Siyabonga kakhulu the words of encouragement, the words of wisdom, the words of guidance that you have shared with the House this morning on this day. Bengicela simshalena izandla futhi makube simzwile asimkhuthazeni ngezandla. Thank you so much. Now, I'm just observing some, you'll signal to me then. All right. We have some giveaways, as I've said, before we enter into our next item, kule program lena. I have indicated ukuthi akhona ama corporate partners akhona siphathile izinto ezimnandi. MTN is giving away an inverter. But the government got Deputy Minister, they are busy solving that thing. So, angaze fama inverters asadingakala. This one, but this one, this one, yeah, it's sorting out that issue. So, those who are producing inverters, you are going to be out of business soon. But anyway, they're giving away an inverter, okay, and a phone. But they are asking, Olivia is asking that please, during lunchtime, go and visit her stand. Imamik as well, they will be giving away ama parts, but that will be done through ITRO, but you have to visit Umamik. They are also that side to put Zakes. Scotfin Insurance, they are also giving away. Lexus giver. Lexus giver. President Masita is here. Meaning President Sebe, President of National Taxi Alliance, Sega Corner, right,